know, live a life that's presentable to the world rather than be put away.
These days, he's got all the fans he can handle. But just a few years ago, Patrick Swayze was a little-known and lightly regarded actor-dancer. Then came Dirty Dancing, and overnight, Swayze became a hip-swiveling cultural phenomenon, the country's hottest sex symbol. Hi, I'm Chris Connolly, and in this Big Picture special edition, we'll give you a good look at Patrick Swayze's latest movie, Roadhouse. Now, in that film, Swayze is a philosophy major turned bouncer, another tough but tender character in what has been a most intriguing career. Now, Kurt Loder sat down with Swayze for an in-depth chat and brings you this special on the house.
I've always wondered, why is it that men go to bars, you know, and get away from their wife and kids or whatever, and go to bars, and if the stuff doesn't break out, if fights don't break out by midnight, they start fighting between themselves because there's something in their inside they have to release. I think I decided that I wanted to do Dalton and Roadhouse. Well, number one, I love the premise. It's like a modern-day Western, you know? And who would care about the life of a bouncer in the first place? But the twist was a bouncer with a degree in philosophy. If somebody gets in your face, I want you to be nice. Don't be rude! Ask him to walk, but be nice. Help this gentleman to the door. I want you to be nice. Until it's time to not be nice. The interesting thing for Dalton, for me, was it's like a study in cool. Sorry, we're closed.
Well, what are all these people doing here?
Drinking and having a good time.
Well, that's why we're here.
You're too stupid to have a good time.
This guy has a reputation as being the best bouncer in the country and has paid a lot of money to come in and clean up bad situations. But this guy got into this, was sucked into it by Sam Elliott, Wade Garrett.
Damn, that hurts, doesn't it?
My mentor, from this Lone Ranger point of view, that we can, with this training we have and having been special forces, that we can change the world in some way or rid the earth of some level of scum. But after living that kind of lifestyle for a while, it starts wearing on your soul. And it's sort of like, you know, if you spend too much time with the rats in the cage, you become the rat in the cage.
Maybe I ought to kick your ass. We don't want to do this.
I'd love to see our society move out of action movies being the biggest money makers, but I have to say, I'm a sucker for an action movie. I love them. People ask me, well, why'd you do an action film like Roadhouse? Well, number one, I love the character, and I felt that I could combine an action film with a performance film, but I love these kind of films, you know? I mean, there is that part of me that I just love this raucous kind of rock and roll, you know?
Can I buy you guys a drink?
Guess not.
I spent so much of my younger years getting beat up badly because of being in the arts, because of being a dancer and that kind of stuff, that at one point I decided that nobody was ever going to do that to me again.
And action!
My training for Roadhouse was pretty rigorous. Every fight I did was full body contact. We pulled it to the face and choreographed, you know, camera position.
Okay, now remember, you got the camera here and here, so when you take the hit, when he gives you that mule kick, if you can stumble this way, he's gonna drive this way.
Out here.
Now we've got a hit, otherwise we got a miss by that point.
You got it. because you can't fake body punches. When somebody kicks you and you're down on your knees and somebody kicks you, you can't fake being lifted off the ground and flipped, you know.
We told the stunt people right off the bat, we're going to make contact, so if you want a pad, put pads on, but that way it would be realistic. And that's the way Patrick wanted. He wanted it realistic, so I said, okay.
Benny's become my new hero. I patterned Dalton's eyes after Benny's eyes because he is a bad dude. He's a four-time world kickboxing champion. I loved working with him, so I concentrated like a lunatic, you know. Just focused on his eyes, and he turned me into a fighter.
I watched him walk, I watched him move, and automatically it just flashed in my mind. And I looked at him, and he seemed to look like a cat, the way he moved gracefully. And I said, all right. So I knew automatically all the moves that I was going to design for him was going to be more catty, more, you know, stalking his prey, and all of a sudden you stop, and then chicks explode.
It was real exciting to work with him, and it made me feel real good because by the time we were done with the movie, he felt I could go into professional kickboxing.
737 coming out of the sky. Oh, won't you take me down to Memphis on a midnight ride? I wanna move.
We just lucked out finding Jeff Healey and being a blind guitar player, plus finding a Jeff Healey with a great deal of talent.
The script called for a young blind guitar player in a blues rock band who played flat on his lap. And so we were quite amazed, and after some investigation found it wasn't, you know, as purely coincidental as it seemed. Because the writer for the book was from Toronto and had seen the band a couple of times. So sort of what goes around comes around. It worked out very nicely.
The guy's been working his brains out in Canada for his whole life. Now all of a sudden his career, I mean, even before Roadhouse has come out, so, you know, he's like passing the test. There's not just because of a movie that this guy's music is happening, it's because of him as an artist.
I think all three of us really are going to, you know, have a hard time believing that we did it until we walk into the movie theater and see it.
Thanks, man.
So you played pretty good for a blind white boy.
Yeah, and I thought you'd be bigger.